Welcome to r/TIFU. Today I effed up. This is a story of a young high school kid getting in trouble with people that make a mountain out of a molehill. If you like this content, hit like and subscribe. Thank you. TIFU. By unknowingly committing 9 felonies and 7 misdemeanors. Obligatory. This happened 9 years ago, but I still think about it every day. It's a long one. So buckle up. Apologies about the grammar and such. Writing is not my forte. Me, $D. Friend/co-conspirator, $F. This story starts with me, a quiet but well liked throughout the school 17-year-old, in IT class at my high school in a large suburban, 2-city public school district. We had one of the best high school IT programs in the country at the time for many reasons. Part of our class, of about 35, involved us going around the school to do basic maintenance on school computers. Although with the exception of myself and $F, our class never touched staff computers. Myself and $F were the 2 students always finishing our 2-week classwork cycle in about 2 days. So, we were always tasked by our IT teacher with helping the school IT guy, district employee stationed at the school in the IT lab, to go around and fix issues throughout the building while everyone else worked on their classwork. Often, we will loan the IT guy's keys and district key card to go around the school and take care of business. This is important later. Over time, me and $F became well known by staff around the school for being able to fix anything. So we eventually gained a lot of trust from our IT teacher and district IT guy. To the point that we knew passwords we absolutely should not have known. We knew everything from the password to the surveillance system, to the master domain admin password district IT used to access everything from HR files, to grades, to mechanical systems. This password literally let us access anything on any computer in the entire district. And before you ask, yes, all buildings in the district, including admin, were linked together, and no, they weren't firewalled off from each other. Now, we never used our powers maliciously as we loved our school and never would have done anything to harm anyone or damage any systems. One day I thought to myself, wow, information security, InfoSec, in this district is atrocious. I wonder how easy it would be to test it from a student perspective, then present my findings to the district IT guy. This would be the beginning of the biggest frick up of my life. I'll try to keep the technical stuff to a minimum. My mission started one day when I was tasked to grab a computer from a classroom and bring it to the lab. Easy enough. I was given IT guy's 35 plus keys and sent off. While walking to the room, I dropped the ring. It took me a minute to find the right key on the ring. When I found it, since I was looking a bit harder than usual at each key, I noticed something peculiar about the key he used to open doors inside the school. It was stamped DGM and looked different than the usual *M stamp master key for this one high school building. Not seeing this abbreviation before, I thought, okay, this must be an important key, since it works like a school master but looks different. I opened the empty classroom, fired up a locksmithing app on my phone, and took a digital impression of the key that gave me the button code, so I could duplicate it later on. Grabbed the computer, went back to the lab, and gave the keys back. Curious about what this DGM stamp meant, I started googling on my phone. DGM, key manufacturer. It came up with GM as Grandmaster, the key above the master key. Nothing with DGM came up in the search. I thought, okay, this is just the Grandmaster key that opens all 3 buildings on the school property. No big deal. Main school, theater, and auxiliary gym buildings. Okay. But what does that D and DGM stand for? Nothing in the school district starts with a D, except district. Holy shite, it must mean district grandmaster. But they can't be stupid enough to make one key that opens doors in all 15 schools, right? I get home and order a key duplicate on the website that built that locksmithing app. A week later it shows up and I bring it to school. Before gym class I tried it on one of the doors in the aux gym and lo and behold, it worked. Great. Part 1 of my test plan is complete. Someone with this key could cause a lot of damage if they wanted to, but how would they get past the alarm systems in each building? Because it would be difficult to discreetly do a lot of damage if the building was full of people. Naturally, someone with ill intentions would carry out their act at night while the building alarms are armed. I already knew that the alarm systems were controlled by keycards that every staff member in the district had. It was an antiquated system with flaws known to the IT world. Their cards only worked for the buildings they worked in. So, the cards, electric doors, and alarms must be controlled at the school level, not at the district admin office. Right? So how was I going to get a hold of a keycard long enough to scan and duplicate it onto a new card? It required a laptop and a special piece of equipment that I couldn't just bring to school while everyone was there. I thought I can't access the security system and look up badge codes with the IT master password I know. That defeats the whole purpose of this test. Where's the next vulnerability in this system? Then I realized there's a gate to the staff parking lot that's opened with keycards, but not their district cards. They had separate cards for the gate. I scanned the entire network for this gate controller, but couldn't find it anywhere. Good job, school district, leaving your gate system closed circuit. It's inconvenient to program, but definitely more secure. Okay, so where is this gate controller located? I've got a district master key, so when I find it, I can access it locally. I look at the gate itself and see a freshly paved line in the concrete leading from the gate motor to the aux gym. Okay, it's somewhere in the aux gym. I wait until Saturday during football practice. The aux gym is disarmed and the front door is open. Everyone's out on the field so no one will see me enter the building. Hey, there's a closet by the front door. I'll try this one first. There it freaking is. The gate controller is mounted on the wall. I open up the panel and attach my laptop. Frick, there's a password. What could it be? It's not going to be the master password. This isn't connected to the network. I look at the circuit board. There's a label with admin. Name of city school is located in. Unbelievable, that's the login. District IT people are paid 6 figures to make this shite up. Seriously? I accessed the swipe log and I noticed an interesting trend. Half the time someone swipes into the parking lot, there's an access denial that immediately precedes a valid gate card swipe. They must be swiping their district cards first instead of the gate card. Lucky for me, this system records badge numbers when access is denied. So, I had access to several district key card codes, protected by a password that is the name of our city. Wonderful. I sift through the logs and notice the names of 3 district janitors, all 3 with the preceding access denied messages and codes, followed by their valid gate cards. I remembered these people from my previous schools, so their district cards must open multiple buildings. Remember when I mentioned that district buildings weren't firewalled off from each other on the network? I took one of the codes and encoded it onto a blank key card with that special piece of equipment that cost me $20 on eBay, walked out the front door, and scanned the card. I heard a loud click and the reader light turned green. Holy shite, I now have a DGM key and a key card that disarms every school alarm system in the district. Nothing is off limits to me. Part 2 complete. I call up my friend F who somewhat knew what I was doing, and once nighttime rolled around, we decided to visit almost every school in the district, just to see if it actually worked. And boy it did. We easily swiped into each school, the alarm automatically disarmed, and the DGM key opened every door in every building we visited. I found myself thinking, good lord, security here is even more atrocious than I thought. We had the decency to rearm each building before we left. And once we were done, we planned on telling the IT guy on Monday when we went to class. Well, my dumbass decided to try one more school the next day, Sunday morning. I swiped in, and within 10 seconds, the middle school principal walked through the door and asked, "Who are you?" I could have bolted out the front door, but I wanted to be honest, because they were going to find out on Monday anyways. So, I told him who I was and what I was doing. Very short version. He took me to his office and had me sit down while he made a phone call. It was someone at the district office. All I heard him say was, "I can't distinguish this from my own badge. It's a perfect copy, but it has his name and photo on it." He hangs up, asks me more questions, and it eventually leads to the DGM key. This especially panics him because he knew what it was, but didn't know anyone other than the district ops manager that had one. He makes another phone call. This is principal name at middle school. "I need someone to come down here now." I'm thinking, okay, someone from the district will be here to ask more questions. Cool. Boy was I wrong. Within a few minutes about 6 police officers show up and start asking me questions. I'm honest, I tell them my plan and what I did. They all looked utterly confused by the end of my short explanation. They took the key cards and EGM key and asked me to call my parents to pick me up. They search my car and find pot in the trunk. Oops. So, there's a charge right there. They said they'll notify us later once they talk to the district, and I was released into my dad's custody. A few hours later, my mom gets a phone call from $VP saying, I'm not to attend school Monday and we will have a meeting that evening at the high school. Okay, understandable. I haven't been able to explain myself. They're playing it safe. Whoops, wrong again. IT teacher, $ITT. District IT director, $IT lady. Vice principal, $VP. Cops, $PD. We arrive at the school for the meeting. My IT teacher is sitting in the school office with a disappointed yet very proud look on his face. As we arrived, we were called into the conference room. I expected it to be just $VP. LMAO. No. It was $VP, to cops, and some random district official. My IT teacher was there just to translate the technical terms. I explained my whole plan, being interrupted many times by everyone to ask their questions. At one point $VP says Jesus $ITT, you're not supposed to be teaching this stuff. $ITT, $VP, do you realize the amount of critical thinking and work that went into this project? Well, after he says this, there's a knock on the door. $VP, $IT lady is here. Random district official leaves and $IT lady enters and sits down in front of me. $VP, $M this is $IT lady, the district director of IT. She has some questions for you. $M, okay. She proceeds to tear into me, asking what did you break, what did you hack? I could literally see the veins popping out of her head. She was pissed the frick off. She couldn't accept that a bored teenage kid that just wanted to see if this was possible was able to compromise her systems in 1 week. At one point the officers asked her to leave the room and take a break because she was getting so worked up. Fast forward to after the meeting, the police took myself, my mom, $VP, and $ITT to my house and seized all of my electronic equipment. Everything from my cell phone to my laptop to my Wi-Fi adapter and everything in between. My favorite part was when they were searching my computer bag. The police officer opened it, rummaged around for a bit, taking everything electronic out, then gently and overdramatically pulling a strand of condom wrappers out in front of everybody. Mom glares at me, previously not knowing I was having sex at 17. Mom's new boyfriend leaves room immediately. Cops looks at VP not sure what to do. ITT gently face palms. M thinking frick, this is bad. VP staring at the cops for about 5 seconds. Okay, well let's move on. They all leave after seizing basically everything I own. Fast forward to a few days later, I get a letter from the district saying I have been suspended pending expulsion. Great. We attend the expulsion hearing. I say exactly what I said in the first meeting with VP and the cops. Get another letter 2 days later. I'm expelled. We appeal to the school board and the district's lawyers. They don't want to hear any of it. Appeal denied. They're pressing full charges. Okay, I didn't know what the charges were, but they were pressing them. Cool. Great. 2 months later I meet with county juvenile. I again explain to them my story. They're just as confused as the district people, but my juvenile rep is taken back by my calm demeanor and willingness to share all the details. By this point the district has done a thorough investigation and found no evidence that I stole or caused damage to property or their computer networks. They then inform me I'm being charged with 9 counts of felony burglary, 3 counts of Class A misdemeanor computer crime, 3 counts of Class A identity theft, 1 count of possession controlled substance on school grounds. I'm also ordered not to use any electronic devices until I see the judge. This included something as simple as a TV remote. Frick me. I have a few more meetings with the county juvenile rep. She was actually a very nice person and was surprised I was assigned to her in the first place because she usually got the murders and rapists. She got to know me and my true intentions with the entire plan over the next month. Before my first hearing, she, the county, recommended to the school district not to press charges. They felt this could be remedied in district, since while crimes were committed, I wasn't aware of the crimes and there was obviously no bad intent. During the hearing, my juvenile rep and crappy court-appointed lawyer explained my side, and the district lawyer explained theirs. The judge was extremely confused by the whole situation, saying we've never seen a case like this before. At this point I don't know how to proceed. The DA also looked equally as confused. Judge asked the district's lawyer, how do you want to proceed? Lawyer, we'll take this under further review. Judge, expect a call from your juvenile rep this week. Adjourned. 3 days later, we receive a call from juvenile. The district is pursuing all charges and wants $80,000 in restitution for a new district security system. Wonderful news. I live in a constant state of panic for the next 3 months, while waiting for the next court date. I end up going to the district's alternate school for a while attending twice weekly meetings at juvenile. Went a few more times in front of the judge, my lawyer, juvenile, and district lawyers doing all the talking, explaining the entire case to the judge. The district still insisting I stole and damaged district property, even though I never did, and they never found any evidence. About 7 months into this, the judge had enough. She didn't want to hear anything more, and was going to issue my disposition ruling. At the next hearing, she explained that $80,000 in restitution was ludicrous and the district was going to pay for their own security upgrades if they chose to. She then looked at me and asked me to rise. Judge, I have 3 options here, Mr. M. Option 1, I dismiss all of the charges and we'll be done here. Option 2, I drop the Mary Jane charge, reduce all other charges to attempted misdemeanors, and sentence you to 1 year bench probation. Option 3, I send you to jail right now. I almost lost it right there. Judge, based on what I've heard from our juvenile rep and read in the police reports, I'd like to go with option 1 and dismiss the charges. But because of the sheer severity of the crimes on paper, I'm unable to do that. So, I'm going with option 2. I hereby sentence you to 1 year of bench probation and order you to pay restitution in the amount of $3,200 for district staff overtime. Good luck, Mr. M. I don't remember what was said after that, because I was so relieved, I almost passed out. After 3 months of thinking I was going to prison for 20 years, it was all over. I was numb for the rest of the day. All in all, the whole experience only left me with severe depression and anxiety for a few years, but hey, I'm not in prison. Great, right? Actually, it ended up better than I thought. I ended up graduating from the alternate school's accelerated graduation program shortly after that. The district wanted me out of their hair as soon as possible. I received a full diploma from my regular high school at the end of my junior year. I got to essentially skip most of my junior and all of my senior year of high school. Ended up working my ass off and got a great IT job at a company I still work for today. And now I have IT director as my title. And that is how I royally fricked up by shaming the frick out of my school district. Shove it, IT lady. For the techies, I intentionally left out some details because they are boring to most people. If you have a question, just ask. IJustReddit comment. This reminds me of something that happened to me at my first job many years ago. I was a young hotshot programmer out of college. I got hired at a small company as an entry-level Microsoft C programmer. It was the predecessor to C++ and C#, and it was old technology even then. I was just happy to get a job because the economy was bad at the time. So, it didn't matter too much that it was a step back from what I knew. I worked for this older woman who had been in the industry for 20+ years at that time. She was a real Karen before Karens even had a name. She was horrible at programming. I'm not sure how she got into it in the first place. That's probably why she was promoted to manager, just to stop her from screwing with the code. I forgot to add she hated men. I overheard her say to other women that worked there that if she could fire all the men and replace them with women, she would. I think she was divorced like 5 times. I guess she was a little jaded. That said, she would rifle through each programmer's code and ask you to explain what it did if she didn't understand it. She didn't understand a lot of it. So, some days I had to spend an hour or two just telling her how things worked. So, one day she decided that something I did was too cryptic for her to understand. She said, "We don't use cryptic code here at company name." So, I was told to change every instance of that code in every piece of source code I'd ever used it in. There were tens of thousands of lines of code I'd have to search through. Being a cocky young programmer with a little bit of an attitude at the time, I told her that just because she didn't understand it doesn't mean it didn't work. I told her I wasn't going to do that. She was pissed. She even tried to get me fired, but cooler heads prevailed, and the owner of the company said no. Ever since then, she was out to get me. Fast forward to about a year later, she was still holding that grudge and trying to get me fired. Since I was friendly with the owner and I did a good job, it was going to take me doing something really horrid to get him to agree to get rid of me. I was a good employee, so I was not worried at all, or so I thought. So, she used to arrive early every day and watch when I would come in and document every time I was late by 5 to 10 minutes. We were supposed to be there at 8 AM, but with unpredictable traffic, sometimes I would arrive at 8:05 AM or something. I usually stayed well past 6 or 7 PM. So, I made up for it. She tried to use that to get me fired to no avail. The owner laughed and said that he didn't even make it until 9 AM some days. He told her to mind her own business. These kinds of things went on for a while. Meanwhile, I was looking for another job. It took a while because of the economy and my lack of work experience, 1 year at the time. I finally got an offer at one company, but it would mean uprooting my life and moving 100 miles away. I wasn't quite ready for that, or so I thought. So, one night, I was tasked by this woman to sign on to a secure server, which had the payroll and HR software on it, with the admin password, and install some updates. The password she gave me was incorrect. I tried a few times with that password, and I couldn't sign on. So, I just gave up and went home. The next day I get into work, and there's this big to-do over somebody trying to break into one of our servers. I was told to report directly to the owner's office, and in there I found the owner, this woman, and a police detective. The detective read me my rights and put handcuffs on me. Then he started a line of questioning about what I was doing on that server and why I was trying to hack into it. His word, not mine. I don't think he really knew much about computers, but he was in charge of computer crimes for the department. Lol. I told the truth about what I was doing, and Karen said she never asked me to do anything of the sort. She said I should be arrested for multiple computer crimes and other things. As much as I protested, she continued to lie and wanted the book thrown at me. This was before email existed, so I had nothing but this woman's word against mine. The detective said there was almost zero proof that I had done anything wrong and chances are that EA would drop the case before too long. He actually kind of laughed that he was even called for this. He said he could still arrest me if the owner wanted to press charges. The owner said he wouldn't press charges if I packed my stuff up and quit. I think he was just tired of this bad blood between me and this Karen. I ended up taking the other job, and like a lot of stories like this, it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. I got paid more, and it was closer to where I grew up. On top of that, I realized that by jumping jobs, I could increase my salary immensely. This was especially true once I got more experience. The owner contacted me many years later, after Karen got fired. He wanted me to come back and work for him, but I was settled in my new city and happy. I don't know the details on why Karen got fired, but I'm sure she probably started focusing her hatred of men on another young programmer, and the owner likely got tired of it. I now know to document everything that someone asks you to do, in writing or over email, so you have proof of exactly what you were tasked to do. I've never encountered anything like that again in the past 30 years, thank goodness, but it's pretty scary when you're really just a young kid fresh out of college, who's never been arrested, having the police putting you in handcuffs. Thanks for listening.